If you own a house, have a 401k, or work for a company that depends on a healthy economy, the next 2 years could change everything for you. Because there's a pattern hidden in the last century of economic data. And it says 2026 is the year everything resets. This is the 18-year economic cycle. It's been repeating since at least 1918. It predicted the 2008 crash 3 years before it happened. And right now, we are standing at the exact point where every previous cycle broke. I'm going to show you the pattern first. Then I'm going to show you exactly where we are in it right now, and why the math has already stopped working. And then I'll explain the mechanism that drives this cycle every single time. Let's start with the dates. 2008, financial crisis, housing collapse, global recession, millions of jobs lost. Go back 18 years, so 1990, savings and loan crisis, real estate crash, recession. Back 18 more, 1972, stock market crash, real estate bubble bursts, recession, 1954, post-war recession, real estate correction, 1936, Depression era downturn, 1918, end of World War I, economic collapse, every 18 years, sometimes 17, sometimes 19. But the average across a century of data? 18.6 years. This pattern was first documented by economist Fred Harrison. He used it to predict the 2008 crash in a book published in 2005, 3 years before it happened. Not insider information, not luck. The cycle told him. Now most people think each crash had a different cause. Subprime mortgages in 2008, oil shocks in the 70s, banking failures in the 30s. But those are symptoms. The real driver, the thing that causes the cycle every single time, is land. I'll explain exactly how that mechanism works in a moment. But first, let me show you where we are right now, because this is the part that should concern you. The last crash was 2008. Add 18 years, 2026. We are in year 18 of the cycle. And if you look at what's happening right now, the pattern is playing out exactly as it has every other time. U.S. residential real estate prices are up over 95% since 2012. A house that cost $220,000 12 years ago now costs $430,000. Commercial real estate hit $20 trillion in total value in 2023. All-time high. Farmland in Iowa that sold for $8,000 an acre in 2012, over $12,000 now, and land on the edges of cities like Austin, Phoenix, and Nashville, cities that exploded during the pandemic, has doubled or tripled in just 5 years. But here's where the math breaks. Miami has over 30,000 luxury condos under construction right now. The average rent needed to justify those prices, $4,500 a month. The median household income in Miami, $57,000 a year. That means the average family would need to spend 95% of their income just on rent. Investors are buying land and flipping it months later for 20, 30, 50% profit, without building anything. Pure speculation. Commercial office buildings in major cities are sitting 30 to 40% empty, but the land underneath them is still priced as if they're full. And $1.5 trillion in commercial real estate loans come due between 2024 and 2026. Many of those properties are now worth less than the loan. Home sales are at their lowest level in over a decade. Buyers are priced out. Developers are pulling back. Every warning sign from previous cycles is flashing right now. But here's the question. Why does this keep happening? Why does an 18-year crash cycle repeat over and over? The answer is a mechanism so simple it's almost elegant. And once you see it, you'll understand why it's unstoppable. Here's how the cycle works. After every crash, prices fall. People lose jobs. Real estate values drop. Then slowly, things recover. Businesses hire again, confidence returns, and as the economy recovers, land values start to rise, not because the land changes. A vacant lot in Brooklyn doesn't become more valuable because someone built a house 3 blocks away. It rises because demand for that location increases. More people want to live there. More businesses want to operate there. And as prices rise, speculation begins. Investors see land climbing and think, if I buy now, I can sell for more in 2 years. So they buy. Their buying pushes prices higher, which attracts more investors, who buy more, which pushes prices higher still. This is the feedback loop, and for about 14 years it works. Prices climb. Everyone who bought early makes money. Banks lend more freely because land is safe collateral. Developers build more. Investors borrow more. Then, around year 14, the speculation reaches a peak. Land prices are now so high that the math stops working. A developer realizes, I can't build anything that generates enough rent to justify this price. A home buyer realizes, I can't afford this mortgage even with low rates. The buyers disappear. Prices start to fall, slowly at first, then panic. Investors who bought at the peak rush to sell. Banks realize their collateral is underwater. They stop lending. Developers can't finish projects. Jobs disappear. And the economy crashes. Not because of a stock market bubble, not because of a tech company. Because land speculation, the engine of 14 years of growth, reverses and takes everything with it. This has been happening for over a century, and there's a reason it can't be stopped. This is the part that's almost eerie. The cycle has been documented. It's been studied. Fred Harrison predicted 2008 in 2005. He predicted 1990 in the 1970s. Economists who study this cycle know it's real, and it happens anyway. Because even when people know the pattern exists, they can't resist participating. In the mid-2000s, there were people warning that housing prices were unsustainable, that subprime lending was dangerous. They were right, and millions of people bought houses anyway, because prices were going up, because everyone else was doing it. The same thing happened in 1990, in 1972, and it's happening right now. Right now, investors are buying land at prices that don't make sense. Developers are building projects that won't cover their costs. Banks are lending against overvalued collateral, and they all know, on some level, that it can't last. But the cycle creates a collective delusion. When prices are rising, it's easy to think this time is different. That technology or globalization or some new factor has changed the rules. But it hasn't. The cycle doesn't care about technology. It doesn't care about policy changes or central bank interventions. It cares about one thing: land speculation. And as long as land can be bought and sold, the cycle will repeat. Every 18 years, speculation drives prices to unsustainable levels. Every 18 years, those prices collapse. And then, after a few years of recession, it starts again. We are in year 18. Land prices are at or near all-time highs. Speculation is everywhere. The math has stopped working. And if the pattern holds, and it always has, the next 12 to 24 months are when the reset happens. Not a black swan, not a surprise. A rhythm that's been beating for over a century. 2026 is the next beat. If this changed the way you see the next 2 years, subscribe. This channel reveals the hidden patterns most people don't see until it's too late.